Gender identity controversy surrounding Olympic boxers continues. Algerian fighter Iman Khalif, her gender identity has been a discussion over the past week after failing a gender eligibility test. Last week, Khalif won her match against Italy's Angela Carini, who quit just 46 seconds into their fight. Many news outlets falsely labeled Khalif as transgender. According to LGBTQ advocacy organization GLAAD and the Advocates for Intersex Youth, Khalif is a woman who is not transgender nor identifies as intersex. Someone who is born with reproductive anatomy or chromosomes that don't fit the boxes of female or male. Khalif reportedly has differences in sexual development. Still, Donald Trump said this yesterday.
This young girl from Italy, a champion boxer, she got hit so hard she didn't know what the hell hit her. It's a person that transitioned. He was a good male boxer.
Other conservatives are still calling Khalif trans, including author J.K. Rowling, who has repeatedly called Khalif a male. In response to a tweet saying Imani Khalif should sue every single account and outlet saying she is trans, Rowling wrote, "The idea that those objecting to a male punching a female in the name of sport are objecting because they believe Khalif to be trans is a joke. We object because we saw a male punching a female." International Boxing Association, or the IBA, President Umar Krevlev told Russian state media that it was proven Khalif has, quote, XY chromosomes, but no details or evidence of this are publicly available.
The initial transgender allegations came after Khalif beat a previously undefeated Russian boxer, Zelia Ameneva, a year and a half ago. Khalif was disqualified from the International Boxing Association's World Championship 3 days later. The IBA said that Khalif had failed to meet the required necessary eligibility criteria, was found to have competitive advantages over other female competitors. Now, Carini had previously refused to shake Khalif's hands and burst into tears following last week's match. The Italian boxer had since apologized, saying, quote, "I want to apologize to her and everyone else. I was angry because my Olympics had gone up in smoke. All this controversy makes me sad. I'm sorry for my opponent, too. If the IOC said she can fight, I respect that decision."
International Olympic Committee, or IOC spokesperson Mark Adams, said on Friday, the Algerian boxer was born female, was registered female, lived her life as female, boxed as a female, has a female passport. So a lot of people are now grappling with this idea that while there can be different levels of testosterone, there can be different kinds of chromosomes. You can have a Y chromosome and still have female reproductive organs because your body developed in that way. Now, this is based on the science that many people, actually everyone starts off as female, and then if they become, male at birth, their anatomy changes as they develop in the womb. Sometimes it develops in a way that doesn't confine to our strict ideas of biological female or male. And I think a lot of people were just not aware of that science, Robbie, and I think that's where a lot of this confusion is coming from.
Yeah, look, she is not transgender. She was socialized as a woman. She was born a woman. She has the anatomy of a woman, which is very important to people who are critical of the transgender activist community or the claims people make on behalf of transgender people. More gender traditionalist people say, well, women can't have penises, men can't have vaginas. That's a comment we hear from that. Well, this is a woman who has, again, female anatomy, genitalia, but has some biological characteristics that don't fit into the rigid definition. That this is something that occurs in a 0.00 whatever percentage of people. They do exist. Exceptions make the rule. Broadly, there are just two categories, but there are some people who fall into a middle ground category. Now, does that mean she was eligible or should have been eligible to participate in this fight? The Olympics said yes. Previous boxing association said that no, she didn't meet the criteria and or had not demonstrated or not proven eligibility as a woman. So that is still giving rise to the idea that, well, does she have some unfair advantage based on testosterone or something else of that nature? I think that's still a fair question to investigate, to try to suss out if the Olympics standards reflect the reality of these special cases, or what should be done about it. It's a tremendously complicated question at the level of elite competition, but no, you can't just label every woman who has some masculine characteristics or fighting ability and say, oh, they're claiming to be trans, or they're trans or not trans.
Right. And a lot of folks are questioning the IBA in general. It's been labeled a very corrupt organization. It's been banned from regulating international matches like this. And the IOC has actually more clear-cut regulations in terms of testosterone levels than a lot of other sports agencies. It might be the best. In 2015, they came out with their set of criteria. A lot of it had to do with testosterone levels in the case of regulating women's sports. And it's based on a collection of a lot of evidence. There are a lot of renowned scholars that contribute to this, people who do scientific research specifically on this issue, assessing, how long someone has to be on hormone therapy, if they were born a male to transition before they don't have a competitive advantage. There's all kinds of research that goes into this. They first came out with it in 2015. They updated it ahead of the Paris Olympics. There are regulations there and in place. And the IBA, we can't say as much. There's not a lot of transparency around their regulations. They're owned by a group of essentially Russian oligarchs with connections to Gazprom, the energy company, and they've been known to be corrupt. And so a lot of people are saying, if they're not coming out with the evidence and details surrounding this, are people who spread this baseless claim that she's transgender in a country where it's illegal to be transgender, can they sue for defamation? And it seems that there is indication that there will be a lawsuit. So that'd be very interesting to see J.K. Rowling get sued over this.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody who says something you disagree with should necessarily be sued. I tend to not think a lot of that tactic, but certainly
if it's untrue and defamatory, you can sue.
I didn't say that you can't sue. I just that I'm not a big fan of suing everyone on earth for saying things that you don't like about yourself. But certainly people who said that that she was transgender should correct the record. She is not transgender. We managed not to fall into that trap when we commented on it on Thursday. So I'm pleased to say that we got it right, but it's definitely prompting a revisit, I know, from a lot of people, especially on the right, who rushed to use that label. That does it for us today on Rising. Great having you with us, Jessica, remotely. Safe travels, and hope to have you back here in the studio soon.
Yeah, it was good to do the show against all of the odds. Bye, y'all.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any of our content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. See you tomorrow.